You know that feeling when you hit a chapter or scene that just won't write itself? While I don't have like a magic silver bullet cure for this, I can tell you what I do when I run into that problem, and maybe the way that I handle it will help you too. When I am suffering, it's usually because I don't know exactly what's going to happen in that chapter, or I'm not really 100% sure about the emotional angle. So, like how that point of view character is feeling, struggling, suffering, what they're trying to do in that chapter, etc. If I can't figure it out while like showering or going for a walk, just kind of thinking, then it's usually a sign that I need to write myself into that scene or that chapter. And that's what I do. I type the story out as if I am telling it to a friend shorthand. I will verbatim write. She walks into the room and then she sees him sitting on the couch and she's like, "Ooh, hey, I know you're playing hooky right now. What's the deal, man?" I will write it like that even if I'm writing like a medieval fantasy. Because the point is not that I am drafting usable prose. The point is that I'm trying to tell myself the story. I am getting into that scene and figuring out the exact blocking of what's happening, where characters are moving, what they're doing, and for me, most importantly, what they're saying to one another. I'll write a whole scene that way because even when I get to a point where I'm a little bit stuck or I need to start spitballing, it's much faster and easier to do it this way. Even if I end up having to go back and cut a chunk, it's not really skin off my back because I haven't been carefully crafting the prose. I've just kind of been word vomiting onto the page. If you're not a super fast typer, you can also do this just with a voice recorder. Once you've got that scene or that chapter down, then you can go back and assess how well what you've written actually addresses your story, your plot problem, whether or not your character's goals are clear. Essentially, you're doing a structural evaluation of the concept of what you've put down on the page and going, okay, is this gonna work? If not, like not at all, you can make bullet point notes of kind of like what sort of ideas you liked and what general direction you want to go in, and you could go back and do it again. Or you just go in and start making tweaks. This is a part of the process that I call ironing. I'll go back in and I'll fix the major events and the blocking, and then I'll go back in for the dialogue and make sure it actually sounds the way that the characters' voices are supposed to sound. I'll start putting setting in. I'll start translating some of the bits that are the most in my voice and putting them into the narrator's voice. And pass by pass by pass, it starts to resemble an actual drafted chapter. At a certain point, I just go back and write it. And when I write it, I'm not working from scratch anymore. I'm just turning a little bit of weird, kind of casual verbiage into something that actually feels like consistent drafted prose. This isn't less time consuming than any other method. But if I'm really stuck, it helps me build momentum and get moving in a way where I don't then, 3 or 4 days later, regret having forced myself through a block because there were so many passes that the thing that ended up on the page is usually something that I actually did want to put there. Hope that helps.